How y'all feeling? It is way past my bedtime. I got a retainer in my teeth, but I'm still here, baby. Day 16. We ain't quitting. I know it's a little bit late, but we're going to knock this video out and get the heck to sleep. So, I want to talk about real quick selfishness. Selfish. Yeah, there's too many S's in this word, in this title. I'm going to have to take this out. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to do that off camera. All right. All right. Here we are. Here we are. Selfishness helps everybody. What am I talking about? Well, let's jump into it. Let me make sure I'm not speaking into the back of the microphone. That would suck. That would definitely suck. And you see, before we even get into this video, me being selfish and fucking around on this live video where people are watching and instead checking the back of my microphone is an example of how being selfish helps everyone. I could have fucked up the whole video. So I chose to be selfish, check the mic, and you're welcome. Anyway, being selfish, I think, is one of the best ways to help the world. How could I say that? Now, let me put because we live in a world of people being oversensitive. Healthy selfishness. I want to introduce a new concept called healthy selfishness. It involves setting boundaries, holding standards, speaking your mind, voicing your opinion, and taking care of yourself first. Let's talk about voicing your opinion. Let's say you're in a group of friends. Your whole group of friends thinks that y'all should go to Chick-fil-A. It's a pretty good restaurant. I don't blame you. But you're pretty sure that they're closed on Sunday. However, you don't want to voice your opinion because that would be selfish or that would be rude. That wouldn't be polite. Well, guess what? Because you chose to be polite, your entire group of friends goes to Chick-fil-A, pulls up, realizes they're closed, and makes the same mistake that I've made plenty of times. It's Sunday, they're not open. So, is it really selfish to not voice your opinion? Now, obviously, this is a silly example, but at the same time, that's what we choose to do in a lot of ways in life. A lot of the time, you keep your opinion to yourself because you think it's going to offend or annoy the group, when in reality, if it is important, it should be shared. It should be shared if at least you think it's important, you value it. Well, you sharing your opinion is actually, you can think it's selfish, but I think the most selfish thing to do is to keep your opinion to yourself and not let it be known. Because you could cause the whole group to drive and invest time and energy and expectations and going to Chick-fil-A and expecting this amazing chicken sandwich just to be let down. So I actually think that respectfully speaking up, sharing your mind, voicing your opinion is required to be honest, to be clear, and to help everybody make better decisions. So that's voicing your opinion. Saying no in another way is, well, sometimes you think it's selfish to say no. I think it's actually the opposite. It's selfish not to say no when you know you're committing to something that might be overextending yourself. For example, let's say there's a group barbecue. Let's say you're invited and you're asked to bring burger buns. But you're like, in your head, you're like, maybe I don't want to do that. Or, this is gonna overextend me. I know I have to stay late at work, but fuck it. I'll just say yes. Well, now you commit to bringing the burger buns, being there at this barbecue with a whole group of people expecting you. And then you have to stay late at work. You forget about the party, whatever. You don't show up. And the whole party, the whole barbecue goes with no buns for their burgers. How selfish of you. I think a lot of times we overextend ourselves, or we, promise that we'll be there, or, we'll be available or whatever, when we know that chances are we're not. And we think it's a selfish thing to say no. I think it's far more selfish to say yes, knowing there's a good likelihood that you're not going to be able to follow through on that commitment. I think a good friend is somebody who is selfish, where they say, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that. I'll try, but I got X, Y, and Z, and I'm probably not going to be able to do that. That's the person I want in my circle. So that's voicing your opinion and saying no. Very last, breaks, or I guess pushing yourself. Just because the group, let's say you're in a factory worker, let's say for whatever reason you decided that even though I said that in a job you should be paid more in the experience than the money, let's say you're working at a factory and your factory is a car factory, and it is, the busy season, you're pumping out cars left and right, and so you're staying up way later than you should, like me right now. You're pushing yourself past your point of exhaustion. You are skipping breaks, and you're trying to help the team and not be selfish by taking breaks. And you're pushing yourself past the point of exhaustion. And instead of just taking a couple of breaks, you fuck up on the car, you fuck up the whole door, and you fuck it all up because you're tired, you weren't paying full attention. And now the whole office or the whole factory has to stay late to finish and fix what mistake you just made. Selfish. That's selfish. All right. It's selfish not to take breaks when it's necessary, to keep yourself healthy. When it's necessary, you need to keep yourself at your peak performance to be able to perform best for other people. If you get in the way of that, again, you're actually being more selfish by causing the harm in the first place. So that's my 2 cents. A couple examples for you on selfishness. I think that we, just as a society, sometimes frame selfishness in the wrong way. Obviously, there's a healthy and an unhealthy way to selfishness, but when it comes to being selfish in a healthy way, I just think it's simply not about neglecting other people, but about respecting yourself. There, obviously, when an airline, for example, hopefully you've flown, but you get on an airplane, the first thing that they tell you is in the event of a car crash on the airplane, that would really suck. In the event of an emergency or a lack of oxygen, the air masks are going to drop down. And if you are a parent, the number one thing to do is to take the air mask and put it on yourself first. Not give it to your kids, not take care of the person next to you. Because if you fail to stay conscious yourself, all of a sudden you're not available to help anyone next to you. You're not available to help your kids. You're not available. You're just out. And so I think that encapsulates it perfectly, where when you put yourself first and you prioritize yourself being your best, you not only are the best for the world, for other people, but you set the example of how other people can be the best for themselves as well. So I think being selfish, at least in a healthy way, is the best way for us to help the world. Peace. I'm going to sleep.